Herod the Great did not inherit his power. He seized it. Born in 73 BCE to an Idumean father and a Nabatean mother, Herod's mixed heritage left him an outsider in Jewish society. Yet his father, Antipater, a clever and influential man, secured a foothold for his family by aligning with the mighty Roman Republic. For Herod, this was merely the first rung on his ladder to greatness. Herod's career took off when he became governor of Galilee, a position granted to him at just 25 years old. He quickly proved himself to be a ruthless and efficient administrator, quelling rebellions and collecting taxes with a precision that caught the attention of Rome. The young governor impressed powerful figures such as Julius Caesar, Mark Antony, and later Octavian, Rome's most influential leaders. Herod learned to navigate the treacherous waters of Roman politics, pledging loyalty to the right people at the right time. In 40 BCE, when the Parthians overran Judea and installed Antigonus, the last Hasmonean king, Herod saw his chance. Fleeing to Rome, he persuaded the Senate to name him King of the Jews. Armed with a Roman army, Herod launched a bloody 3-year campaign, reclaiming Jerusalem in 37 BCE. His victory was marked not by celebration, but by violence. He executed scores of Antigonus's supporters, making it clear that no one would stand in his way. Herod's reign was one of paradoxes. On one hand, he was a visionary builder, responsible for some of the most magnificent architectural achievements in the ancient world. The expansion of the Second Temple in Jerusalem, the fortress at Masada, and the port city of Caesarea Maritima. These projects showcased his brilliance and secured his legacy as a king of grandeur. On the other hand, Herod's name became synonymous with paranoia and cruelty. Anyone he perceived as a threat, real or imagined, was eliminated, often in horrifying ways. By the time of Jesus' birth, Herod was no longer the vigorous young ruler who had fought for his throne. Now an aging king, plagued by illness and insecurities, he clung desperately to his power. His paranoia was so intense that he kept a network of spies to root out even the faintest whispers of dissent. It was during this fragile time that a group of mysterious travelers arrived in Jerusalem. The Magi, wise men from the east, caused a stir as they made their way through the city, asking, "Where is he who has been born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east and have come to worship him." To Herod, these words were like a dagger to the heart. He, after all, held the Roman title of King of the Jews. The idea of a rival, a child no less, threatened everything he had fought to achieve. Masking his growing dread, Herod summoned the Magi to his court. "Tell me about this child," he said, feigning interest. "When you find him, return to me, so that I too may worship him." Behind this facade of piety, Herod was already plotting murder. Seeking clarity, Herod called the Jewish religious leaders, the chief priests and scribes. "Where is the Messiah to be born?" he demanded. They answered without hesitation, quoting the prophet Micah, "In Bethlehem of Judea, for out of you will come a ruler who will shepherd my people Israel." Herod now had a target, but his plan required patience. He sent the Magi to Bethlehem, instructing them to return with the child's location. Yet unbeknownst to Herod, divine intervention was at play. When the Magi, warned in a dream, failed to return to Herod, his facade of calm shattered. Consumed by rage and fear, he ordered one of the most horrifying acts in history, the massacre of the innocents. Soldiers descended upon Bethlehem, slaughtering every male child 2 years old and under in a desperate attempt to eliminate this prophesied king. The cries of grieving mothers echoed through the hills of Judea, but Herod's bloodshed was in vain. Joseph, the earthly father of Jesus, had been warned by an angel and fled to Egypt with Mary and the infant Jesus. The child who would one day be called the King of Kings was beyond Herod's reach. Even in his lifetime, Herod's cruelty was infamous. Roman historians marveled at his paranoia, with one remarking, It is safer to be Herod's pig than his son, a grim reference to his willingness to kill even his own family. Herod's final years were marked by physical agony and mental torment, suffering from an excruciating illness, likely kidney disease or gangrene. He died in 4 BCE in his palace in Jericho, yet even on his deathbed, his cruelty persisted. Knowing he was despised, Herod ordered that prominent citizens of Jerusalem be executed upon his death to ensure the city would mourn. Thankfully, this order was never carried out. Herod left behind a fractured kingdom divided among his surviving sons. His death marked the end of a reign defined by grandeur and terror. Yet despite all his efforts to control his legacy, Herod could not alter the course of history. The child he sought to destroy grew in obscurity, far from Herod's reach. Jesus of Nazareth would one day fulfill the prophecies Herod had so feared, not as a king who wielded power through fear, but as one who ruled with love, humility, and sacrifice. Herod's story stands as a testament to the futility of human ambition against divine will. While his reign is remembered for its brutality, the Messiah's birth, life, and sacrifice would bring salvation and hope to the world, a kingdom far greater than anything Herod could ever build.